Let's move on now to Cerner. So we're going through three rather different companies. Cerner is an IT solution provider in the healthcare industry. Headquartered in Kansas City, USA, founded there not that long ago. So basically really more of a database company that specializes in electronic record management and billing systems for doctors and for surgeries and for hospitals generally, tying it all together. Supposedly, when you arrive at a healthcare facility, they're supposed to be able to bring up your records so that you don't have to fill out one of those forms on the damn clipboard like you do in most hospitals. It takes you about half an hour while your child is busy expiring on the floor, etc., etc. Anyway, this is the company that does that stuff. They are a global leader. They do have, again, some competition, but we'll talk about those in a minute. Market capitalization, $21 billion. So again, not particularly enormous, pretty much in its infancy, but moving along nicely. Price to earnings ratio, 43.89. No dividends, as far as I can tell.
This is definitely a growth company. You're not looking for dividends in this one. And I mean, I think it is also a very exciting company. I mean, obviously, it bridges, I mean, you know how excited I am about ICT companies because once they're in there, you can't get them out.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's especially true in hospitals. I think one of the more exciting things also when they sell projects, so they sell their solutions in, they don't just get one hospital, they speak to the hospital group and they get an implementation across 100 different hospitals. One of the exciting projects that they're doing now is they've just been awarded a contract for the Department of Defense as well.
13 million lives or something. So they were not expected to get that. IBM was an arrival consortium. So the US Department of Defense, that's like all of the serving current people in the US military, plus all the vets.
Plus, they're putting systems into submarines and all sorts of things as well. So
that'll be really to take any existing medical records and recodify it and
100%. But it's also, I mean, if you look at it, it also gives them almost a better reputation in the market as well. So just by doing this business with government, they're going to be able to win larger contracts going forwards as well, which is also very, very positive for the company.
So broadly speaking, it's billing systems, it's device integration, so it picks up when a particular patient is having a particular set of equipment, ties into the healthcare scheme, so into the medical aid to work out what can be paid for, patient information files, training systems, data mining, so you can develop like wellness schemes. It's these kind of guys that have the technology that can then work backwards and look and help the likes of a Discovery with what should be spent on, what should be covered, what shouldn't. Pick up fraud. I mean, that's another thing. The healthcare providers are very cautious about people that overbill and overcharge. Okay, so Cerner looks good again. Price to earnings ratio quite high, but
yeah, again, I mean, there was a little bit of concern just about, their revenue line at the moment. I mean, they've managed to grow revenue, but just behind expectations. And I mean, that was again because of some of the contracts. I mean, they're using third parties to implement. I mean, they've brought that all in-house as well. They've also, the one thing that, isn't going to grow the revenue line is they're not looking at a huge amount of acquisitions. They're really going to try and push this through organic growth instead. And that also, they again also focused on R&D to try and improve their systems as well, because they found that acquiring new businesses and their technology isn't as easy in the medical profession. But that said, I think it's the right strategy for them to follow, and these guys know what they're doing, and it's an exciting company.
The founder's still with the company. It's about as old as Aspen, similar sort of rollout. Okay, good. So we're hot on Cerner as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Happy days. Good.